all. Welcome back to the reading of the poem of the Man God, written by Maria Valtorta, Volume 2. Chapter 274, Part 3, The Deeds of Corporal and Spiritual Mercy. Jesus begins. To feed the hungry. It is a duty of gratitude and love, and a duty of imitation. Children are grateful to their father for the bread he procures for them, and when they are grown into men, they imitate him by procuring with their work bread for their own sons and for their father, by now unable to work because of his age, an affectionate fair return of the good received. The fourth commandment states, honor your father and mother. One honors their old age by ensuring that they do not have to beg for bread of others. But the first commandment comes before the fourth. Love God with your whole being. And the second, love your neighbors as you love yourself. To love God in himself and to love him in one's neighbor is to be perfect. One loves him by giving bread to those who are hungry, remembering how many times he appeased man's hunger through miracles. But without taking into account the gifts of manna and quails, let us consider the continuous miracle of corn, which germinates through the bounty of God, who gave men lands suitable to be cultivated, and he adjusts and control winds, rain, heat, seasons, so that the seed may become an ear of wheat, and the wheat bread. And was it not a miracle of his mercy, the fact that by supernatural light he taught his guilty child that the tall, slender grass, ending in golden ears of seed, smelling of the warm sun, enclosed in a hard clover of thorny scales, was food, which man had to pick, hull, pulverize, knead, and bake? God taught man all that, and he taught him how to pick it, husk it, pound it, knead and bake it. He placed stones near the ears and water near the stone, and by means of the reflection of water and sun, he lit the first fire on the earth, and the wind blew onto the fire some grains of wheat, which were roasted, smelling pleasantly, so that man might understand that wheat is better when toasted by fire, than as it is in the ear, as birds eat it, or soaked in water, after being pulverized as a sticky mash. Now that you eat the good bread baked in the family oven, do you consider how much mercy is shown by the achievement of so much perfection in baking, and how much progress human knowledge has made from the first ear chewed as horses do, to the bread of today? And by whom? By the giver of bread. And the same applies to all kinds of food, which man, through beneficent enlightenment, has been able to single out among the plants and animals, which the Creator spread over the earth, a place of fatherly punishment for his guilty child. Thus, to give something to eat to the hungry is a prayer of gratitude to the Lord and Father, who satisfies our hunger, and it is imitating the Father, whose likeness was gratuitously granted to us, and which we must continuously increase by imitating his action. To give drink to the thirsty. Have you ever thought what would happen if the Father did not let rain fall on the earth? And if he said, because of your harsh unkindness towards the thirsty, I will stop clouds from descending upon the earth? Could we protest and curse? Water, more than wheat, belongs to God, because wheat is cultivated by man. But only God cultivates the fields of clouds, which descend as rain or dew, fog or snow, nourishing fields and cisterns, filling rivers and lakes, giving shelter to fish, which appease man's hunger with other animals. If someone asks you, give me a drink, can you say to him, no, this water is mine and I will not let you have it? Liars! Which of you made a snowflake or one single drop of rain? Which of you evaporated a dew diamond with his astral heat? No one. It is God who does that. And if water descends from the sky and reascends there, It is only because God controls that part of creation as he controls the rest. Give, therefore, the good cool water of the springs of the earth, or the pure water of your well, or the water that filled your cisterns, to those who are thirsty. It is the water of God, and it is for everybody. Give it to the thirsty. For such a small deed, which costs you no money, and involves no work except the handing of a cup or a jug, I tell you that you will receive a reward in heaven, because not the water, but the charitable action is great in the eyes and judgment of God. To clothe the poor, nude, shameful, pitiful miseries pass along the roads of the earth. Forlorn old people, people disabled by disease or misfortune, lepers coming back to life through the Lord's bounty, widows laden with children, people deprived of every comfort by mishaps, innocent little orphans. If my eyes scan the vast earth, I can see everywhere people who are naked or covered with rags, which hardly protect their decency, but do not shelter them from the cold. And all those poor people look with downcast eyes at the wealthy people who pass by wearing soft garments and comfortable shoes. Downcast eyes in kindness and good people, downcast eyes in hatred in those who are not so good. Why do you not assist their dejection, making the good ones better by means of your love, and destroying hatred in those who are less good? Do not say, I have only enough for myself. As in the case of bread, there is always something more than what is necessary on the tables, and in the wardrobes of people who are not entirely forsaken. Among those who are now listening to me, there is more than one who from a cast-off garment made clothes for an orphan or a poor boy, and out of an old bedsheet made swaddling bands for an innocent baby who had none. And there is one, a beggar, who for years shared the bread begged for with so much difficulty with a leper who could not go and beg for it at the doorstep of rich people. And I solemnly tell you that such merciful people are not found among the wealthy, but among the poor, humble classes who know by their own experience how painful is poverty. Here again, as for water and bread, consider that wool and linen with which you dress yourselves come from animals and plants, which the Father created not only for the rich, but for all men, because God gave man only one wealth, his grace, health, and intelligence, not the filthy wealth, which is gold, elevated by you to a useless nobility. Whilst as a metal it is not more beautiful than any other, and it is much more useless than iron, with which you make spikes and spades and plows, harrows and sickles, chisels, hammers, saws and planes, the holy tools for holy work. And you elevated it to false nobility through the instigation of Satan, who has made you, the children of God, as wild as beasts. God has given you the riches of what is holy to make you more and more holy, not this murderous wealth which sheds so much blood and so many tears. And give as it was given to you. Give in the name of the Lord, without being afraid of remaining naked. It would be better to die of cold, after stripping yourselves in favor of a beggar, than chill your hearts, even if clad in soft garments, through lack of charity. The warmth of a good action accomplished is more pleasant than the comfort of a mantle of pure wool, and the clad bodies of poor people speaking to God, saying, Bless those who have clothed us. If to satisfy people's hunger and quench their thirst, and clothe the poor, joins holy temperance and blessed justice to most holy charity, so that the destiny of our unhappy brothers is modified through our holiness. When we give what we abound in, with God's leave, on behalf of those who are deprived of it through the wickedness of man or through diseases, to give hospitality to pilgrims, joins charity to confidence, and to the esteem of our neighbor. And that is a virtue too, a virtue that denotes honesty besides charity in those who possess it. Because he who is honest acts righteously, and as we generally think that other people act as we do, so the confidence and simplicity, believing that the words of other people are true, show that he who listens to them is one who speaks the truth in important and small matters, and does not distrust what other people tell him. Why should one think of the pilgrim who is asking for shelter? And what about if he is a thief or a murderer? Are you so attached to your wealth as to be afraid because of it, of every stranger who arrives at your house? Are you so attached to your lives as to shudder with horror at the thought of being deprived of them? What? Do you think that God cannot defend you from robbers? What? Are you afraid that a passerby may be a robber, and you are not afraid of the evil guest who robs you of what cannot be replaced? How many give hospitality to the demon in their hearts? I could say everybody shelters capital sin, yet nobody fears that. Are wealth and life the only valuable things? Is perhaps eternity not more valuable, since you allow sin to rob you of it and kill it? Oh, poor souls, robbed of their treasure and handed over to killers, as if they were trifles, whilst houses are locked and bolted, protecting with dogs and safes, things we cannot take with us when we die. Why should we see a robber in every pilgrim? We are all brothers. Houses should be open to brothers passing by. Is a pilgrim not of our same blood? Of course he is. He is of the blood of Adam and Eve. Is he not our brother? Why not? The Father is one only, God, who has given each of us an identical soul. As the Father only gives the children of the same marriage the same blood. Is he poor? Ensure that your spirit, deprived of the Lord's friendship, may not be poorer than he is. Are his clothes torn? Ensure that your soul may not be more torn by sin. Are his feet covered with mud or dust? Ensure that your ego may not be more worn by vices than his dirty sandal has been worn by so much walking. Is his appearance unpleasant? Make sure that yours is not more unpleasant in the eyes of God. Does he speak a foreign language? Make sure that the language of your hearts is not incomprehensible in the city of God. You must see a brother in each pilgrim. We are all pilgrims going towards heaven, and we all knock at the doors along the way to heaven. And the doors are the patriarchs, the just, the angels and archangels, whom we implore to help and protect us, so that we may reach our goal without becoming exhausted and dropping into the darkness of night, into the rigors of ice-cold weather, the praise of insidious wolves and jackals, of wicked passions and demons, as we want angels and saints to show us their love by giving us shelter and strength to proceed on our way. So let us do likewise to the pilgrims of the earth, and each time we open our homes and our arms, greeting a stranger with the sweet word of brother, and thinking of God, who knows him. I tell you that we will have gone many miles along the way leading to heaven. This has been a reading from the poem of the Man God, written by Maria Valtorta, Volume 2, Chapter 274, Part 3, The Deeds of Corporal and Spiritual Mercy. Thank you for listening. I will see you tomorrow. May God bless you, and may peace be with you.